Alright, what up? Yeah, filthy animals. I'm going to go over my 280 thoughts. Great day. Great day. So, if you followed, I don't know if you watched any of my video before, I kind of gave an explanation of the picks and how I felt about some. I had a really good, extensive breakdown, and then I really didn't get into it, or I made notes and of everybody's attributes and things like that. But anyway, this would be a lot more fun, a little quicker. Going over, in total, I went 11-1. The only fight I missed was the Sean Brady, Bilal Muhammad. We'll get into that. Anyway, won a lot of money today. One of my best betting days ever. I just love these pay-per-views, and they put things together. Izzy's last card and this card. Izzy's last card, I went perfect, except for Sean, the eye poke, I believe is what cost me on that, like, betting-wise. But let's go. First fight, Carol Rosa versus Lena Landsberg. It wasn't... Once Carol started getting the takedowns, I was happy. That's what I thought she could do. When it first started off, she looked kind of in trouble. And I was like, oh, here we go. I was going to be annoyed. I actually bet on the first fight today. Sometimes I'll leave off the first fight just because usually it's like a weak kind of toss-up, or I don't want to mess up some fights. But I actually had bet on that fight along with the next two. So I bet on the first three fights this time. Last week I bet on 2, 3, and 4 in the parlay. Other than that, I bet on everything I touched in bets. I don't think anything special about that fight, but got it right. That's what I thought she could do. She could take her down. She's stronger than her, and that was her key to victory. She got it done. Next, Muhammad Mokaev and Malcolm Gordon. Malcolm Gordon surprised some people, including Mokaev. When he suplexed him and slammed him, and even at the end of, I think, the first round, he was a little in trouble. I mean, he looked like he was going to get a rear naked choke. He didn't really have it, but like he said at the end of the fight, he definitely underestimated him. Muhammad Mokaev, the roof for him is so high, the ceiling, but the dude is too cocky. His potential and his cockiness are way too close. You want him to be here. Like, if your potential, like, beyond your potential, once you get here in your corner, he can have this. But this can get in the way. This shouldn't get over that. He's got to chill out. He's underestimating people. I'm glad he literally squeezed out that arm bar. I had him plus 1.5 in a lot of bets. And then I also had him the submission because obviously the bet got so carried away. It was at minus 1,400, I think, at one point. So when he gets to that, the only way worth betting on him was the submission. I took double action, submission, or TKO. I didn't think he'd get the TKO. Or not KO. He could get the TKO. But I was really upset that he wasn't taking the back more and trying for rear naked chokes. So I was pleasantly surprised when he squeezed it out because I was ready to sit here and send out a tweet or an Instagram message and be upset with his performance. But he got it done. Good on him. We'll see who his next opponent is if they keep feeding them some people that they think he can beat. Cool. I'll keep winning money, but he's got to settle down before he's going to go fight these ranked people. He's got to take them more serious. Next, Armin Petrosian, AJ Dobson. AJ Dobson has 0 fight IQ. He actually could have probably won this fight. Petrosian was so busy and threw a lot of punches, and I'm glad the judges weren't these judges who look and go, oh, he's bleeding, but look, he's hurt. AJ Dobson's punches seem to do more. He didn't throw enough. Armin Petrosian was just throwing nonstop, which is great for him, and he got the unanimous decision. A bunch of unanimous decisions tonight, which just makes me extra happy because it kind of just reiterates how I felt about the fights and picking some of these people. AJ Dobson has 0 fight IQ. Not only at the end did he think that he won, but just throughout the fight. I mean, I just don't understand. I think he had Mark Coleman in his corner, but, like, what are these guys telling him? If you really have to, at the end of the round, pull up the ESPN stats and show him, look, here's what you landed, here's what he's landed. Like, break it down to him, because some of these fighters just don't get it. To come out in the third round and not just go, lack of a better term, balls to the wall, I don't know. You fire the coach after this and you watch it back and realize that they weren't honest with you. Or fire each other. Stop fighting. I don't know. He's a boxer. I mean, he has so much power now. If he would just blitz and he didn't mind getting hurt and getting hit here and there, I mean, he should be able to traps like that and a neck like that. He should be able to take a shot from Armin Petrosian. He should just walk them down. And I'm not complaining because I picked Petrosian and I won money off of it. And my pick was right. But his zero fight IQ, I mean, stamina wasn't a problem this time. It's just that he was in such another world thinking that he was winning the fight or that he was even close. I mean, it was 30-27 across the board. That's the way I had it, that's the way I saw it, and he looked shocked. So, back to the drawing board. If you want to stick around the UFC, you better start realizing when you're losing fights and become more than one-dimensional. Next fight, we had Nurmagomedov, one of the Nurmagomedov clans of Abubakar Nurmagomedov. Snooze face. It's snooze fest. Anyway, he got the fight with a little toss up with Hamzat Chimaev at the end of the card, which is funny because Hamzat mopped the floor with this dude. But that fight was good. Omar Kajija, whatever, he started to get tired, which I thought was a possibility. But ultimately, I just thought Nurmagomedov could take him down and kind of hold him, and that's what happened. I mean, he really didn't have a lot of attacks or anything once he took him down. It wasn't a lot of ground and pound. He really just took him down. So that fight pretty much went the way I thought it was going to be. I didn't think it'd be that interesting. Nurmagomedov could have got knocked out, but he shot at the right moments and took it to the ground. So good. That was the only thing I was worried about, is if he didn't. Next, Volkan Ozdemir and Nikita Krylov. This fight went the way I thought it would, for the most part. I guess, on both sides, I thought that Krylov, if he sat there and traded with Volkan Ozdemir, he's going to get knocked out. And that was my dilemma in back and forth choosing. I was really close to taking Ozdemir. In fact, I thought Ozdemir early in the week more than anything. Just because I know he throws with a nonstop flurry, and he just goes. He just goes and goes and goes. Krylov, I think, is way stronger. And I counted him trying to take him down some and holding him there. And Ozdemir actually gassed out a little bit. So then he almost got knocked out. So that kind of went the way I thought it was going to. I did get a little nervous in the first round when Ozdemir was landing his punches and Krylov was trying to trade with him. I did not want him to trade with him. That was a problem. He realized it. And then later he didn't have to trade because Ozdemir was a little gassed and kind of beat up. So he could just blast him on the feet while he was tired. Next, Muradov and Caio Borralho. I was a little surprised by this. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know Muradov, his ground game would be there like that. I think he was the first to shoot a takedown. Being 4 inches taller, which I guess it just kind of slipped my mind, he was able to really push his hips out, spread his legs, and kind of keep Caio on the ground and keep top control. So Caio was in a little bit of trouble, but I never felt like he was going to lose the fight. I knew how talented he was and what his ability was. I knew that he was going to... I felt very confident. I can't say I knew. I'm not psychic, but I felt very confident. I wasn't sweating it at all. I felt very confident that ultimately he was going to come around and get it done, and that's what he did. Now, to the next fight. Sean Brady and Belal Muhammad. Earlier on when this card was announced, 280. Y'all been hearing me scream 280, 280 for like a month. Super excited about it. Originally, I was like, Belal Muhammad's the underdog. I'm taking him. And I watched the interview with Sean Brady and how confident this Philly chump is, and kind of talked me in to give him a chance. And when I watched film, he was what I thought he was, but he wasn't. He just didn't last. I thought he had faster hand speed. He did. He's picking Belal apart. His takedown attempts were lazy and weak. I don't think all of them were full-on takedown attempts that they were saying. I think they 0-5. I'd say probably 2 of those were real takedown attempts. Maybe 3. Maybe 1 was just at the end when he was like really getting beat up. But the first 2 were just kind of feints. I don't think he was really shooting. I think he was just kind of feeling out what was going on there. Like I said in my previous video, when you get 2 wrestlers or grapplers like this, they tend to cancel that out for each other, so they just scrap. Same thing when you get like Usman and Covington. They're barely any takedowns. They're just throwing hands. I didn't think that would happen here. I thought Brady would try to mix it up. Surprised that he didn't just go all in effort to get a takedown. Um, really disappointed in his performance. I had him winning the first round. I think the difference was that Bilal was willing to take strikes and Brady wasn't. Bilal just walked through some of them, took them. I mean, he was getting damaged. He took them, and he thought if he got closer, he could just start. That's Bilal's boxing. Bilal just starts throwing straights. And if you watch my last video again, I said, I can't remember which fight it was when I first watched him. That's what he was doing. He was just relentless, pushing the pace, just constant strikes. He's a solid dude. I don't like him. I think he's a goober. But he's solid muscle. He's yoked. He had great takedown defense for, I guess, for those takedown attempts. But the most upsetting thing about this is that the ref stopped the fight with 11 seconds left in the second round. You can't stop the fight with 11 seconds left and he's still standing. I can say if it was a minute, 2 minutes left in the round, the ref's got to know where it's at and understand there's 11 seconds. Let the man stand up and see if he falls. If he falls, call it. If he doesn't fall, he's got to be saved by the bell. Allow him to come out in the third round. We've seen way crazier things happen than to think that he couldn't have come out and won that fight or at least put on a valiant effort. Especially because I had him winning the first round. So if he comes out and he wins the third round, I don't know if the second round was a 10-8 round or not. I'd have to go back and watch, and I'm not going to because I'm annoyed by it. But you got to let it go. You got to let it go the next round. When Rodriguez and Song Yadong both had nickel-sized holes on their head a couple weeks ago, nobody was stopping the fight. So, to stop this, I've seen Rodriguez get beat down like that at least twice and they stopped the fight. We saw in the, what's his face? Little man heavyweight. Anyway, there's plenty of fights, examples, a million of them I could give you if I sat and thought about it, where a fight shouldn't have been stopped. I'm not making an excuse for Brady. I think his performance was lackluster. He didn't deliver what he said he was going to do, but you got to let that go to third round. The ref was disappointing on that. I think there's probably a certain sentiment being in Abu Dhabi. Maybe they want fights, but they don't want violence. I don't understand why the ref would change that. So that was kind of annoying. Brady, back to the drawing board. You've got to be such a good grappler and be able to hold people to the ground. You got to shoot. Dude, that made no sense. It's only further building up Bilal Muhammad in his head and some of these delirious fans. Bilal Muhammad is not messing with Usman. He's not messing with Covington. He's not messing with Leon. Leon already pieced him up. And that's what annoys me about this guy. He's acting like he hasn't lost in however long. No, bro, you lost. You lost to Leon. The eye poke, great. That's the greatest thing ever happened to you. You're getting pieced up and you probably got knocked out. He's not on their level. It's not even close. And then I don't even understand who he was calling out. He's talking about going down in weight. So I'll have to look into that. But Brady, I won a lot of money today. Brady won. I would have won 1,000, 1,500 more easily. I had probably 5 parlays that were $200 to $400 that would have won if Brady had won. I had a 6-pick round robin. He was the only one thing in the round robin that didn't hit. So another couple $100. But shame on me, forget him. Next to the main card, Fiat and Chukagan. I'll be honest, I missed the first half of this fight because I was so upset about the Brady, and I was going off online and looking at all this stuff and trying to re-up some bets and kind of hedge some things, damage control. I missed the first couple minutes of the first round, but from what I watched from there on, it was a pretty close fight. I think that Chukagan probably lost in the third. They were probably 1-1, or I don't know, maybe they're tied in some of them, but it just looked like Fiat threw what I thought she was going to throw. I'm just going to call it F. F threw what I thought she was going to throw. Same stuff. Those combinations, left, right, left, and then the front kick. But she did grapple a little bit, especially towards the end. She was a little more engaging. Chukagan was just swinging for fences and missing. Kind of went the way I thought it was going to go. I know I keep saying that, but obviously it went the way I thought it was going to go because I didn't miss them. So anyway, next, Gamrot, Dariush. From the jump, when Dariush came out, I knew he had it. I was like, oh, I couldn't find a way to live bet on some of these bets until later in the card. Really until like the O'Malley, because normally they changed it up, long story. But I'm glad this happened, and I was like, dude, if I see in their fight where Gamrot is going to get a win, and I don't think he won, because I don't think he won the last one. This was a good fight. Really awesome grappling on the ground by both parts. Benny was just clearly ahead and skill-wise and be able to move him around those things. And then he dropped him, I think, in a third. Great shot by Benny. Benny just had that composure, but at the same time, you could tell he was very confident the whole time. Like, I'm about to dust this dude. So maybe they'll stop undervaluing Benny, and he needs to get a title shot. I saw somebody say that his next fight should be against Charles Oliveira. I don't know what Charles should do, but no. Benny should sit there and hold out and get a title shot. I know Volkanovski's next, whatever. Benny should absolutely right now be guaranteed the next title shot after Islam and Volkanovski. Islam didn't take any damage. I guess they're waiting till February. So it's annoying because they're going to wait till February because it's an Australian card. That means Benny would probably have to wait till like July. It's annoying. I don't think Benny should sit till July, but maybe give Benny somebody simple and give him an easy payday. He shouldn't have to go fight Charles Oliveira and go through a whole other camp to go into a fight like that when he should have already got a title shot. He should have been fighting today, or he should have fought Islam before this title shot. But good on Islam because obviously I picked him. And Benny's going to beat whoever he fights. And on top of that, Australian card 282, not 282. Whatever the Australian card, 282 also is going to be some easy money from what I saw today. They showed the whole lineup there in the card today. But the Australian one, I'm telling you right now, Islam is going to mop the floor with Volkanovski. It's going to be the same thing. Volkanovski could barely handle Brian Ortega. He's not going to handle Islam. That's an easy win. And then Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa. Double down on both those. I'm taking at least a 2-pick parlay there, and I'm putting $200 on it. Hopefully some other good fights on there, and I'll put more into it, but I'm going 200 on it for sure. Next, Sean O'Malley, Petr Yan. I'll be honest, a little bit, I was the place I was at was playing the fights, but they weren't playing the audio. So then I had to move around and jump to another TV in a section I wasn't supposed to be in, and I ordered food, and I was looking back and forth so I didn't miss my food. So I wasn't 100% dialed in on this fight, but from what I could tell, it looked like Sean was, I guess depending if you thought that Sean or that Jan was going to get credit for the ground control, Sean lost clearly. When you look at the significant strikes, Sean had the most, but I think most times they always value that time of possession. 6 minutes to basically none, and then significant strikes a little bit. There's plenty of times where I've screamed for somebody who lost who had more significant strikes. That's probably a little biased because I picked them or whatever, but I picked Sean in this. And I told y'all in the last video, part of the reason I picked Sean was because I had a $1,500 existing future bet that I hit, by the way, 7-pick. Technically it became a 6. So it paid out like $1,200 or something like that. But from there, O'Malley did what I thought he was going to do, and I thought the one thing that Jan could win by was taking him down. So, surprise to me, as many of you are probably surprised, that Jan didn't really get much credit for that. I think maybe that knee or elbow, whatever it was that busted Jan, really separated in people's minds. And O'Malley, to his credit, stayed there and threw some punches. He definitely looked exhausted and kind of dead on the ground at some points, but he kept going and he squeezed out the win. When he really had his head down and he just looked deflated, he looked like he didn't think he won. So, and that's not good because I don't know. I still feel like the judges still look at that and go, "Oh, okay, he doesn't think he won. Why would I?" So, if you're not super confident afterwards, he's lucky the judges sided with him. So he won. Good on him. I think that Cheeto is going to get the next fight with Aljamain based on this performance. He squeezed out a split decision where a lot of people probably thought he lost, and Cheeto straight up knocked out Dominic Cruz. So I'm biased, but I'm also honest and logical. Cheeto should get the next fight. But if Sean gets it, I'm betting heavy on Sterling. Sterling is going to take this dude's back and destroy him. It's not even close. So if O'Malley fights Sterling, I got Sterling quick. If Cheeto fights Sterling, I like the matchup. I'm going to rock with Cheeto probably because I rock with Cheeto, but I like the matchup. I'm glad Dillashaw lost. I don't hear all this stuff about his shoulder. Oh, my shoulder. Again, it just goes to show the same thing. This dude doesn't go by anything where he goes. He didn't tell the doctors, and he do okay. Well, then keep it to yourself, or tell people and tap out of the fight and get the fight when you're healthy. It would behoove you to really think that you want to be champion and that you're gonna face Aljamain Sterling. They're giving you the chance, and your shoulder's popping out and you think you're that good, not only do you think you're good enough to beat Aljamain, you think you're that good where you can have a shoulder constantly pop out and you're going to beat this dude when you know he's going to grapple you, you're still on drugs. I don't know if it's PEDs or what it was before, but you're probably on some heavy drugs if you think that. You're crazy. So, glad he lost. He's a cheater. I'm not going to go further into that. Y'all know how my feelings are about him. Anyway, Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira. I told y'all. I don't understand. I really don't understand how people saw Charles winning. I really thought he was going to get dominated. When I look at this, I said somebody's going to get dominated. And I picked Islam, and I don't see... I would really like to hear some of y'all's explanations of what you thought Charles is going to do. I mean, he had a little, triangles here and there, but Islam's going to get out of this. He's too strong. He is too strong, period. That's what it is. I never thought Charles had a chance before or watching it. It just, I don't know how else to put it. And I like Charles. And outside of betting and picking and telling y'all I'm right, I wanted Charles to win. But I knew he had no chance. Charles squeaked out his last couple wins. They were lucky. They're lucky. Michael Chandler should have been the champion. Charles, I can see beating Dustin and beating Gaethje because they were too cowardice to go down to the ground. And they have no ground game, even though, they said Dustin's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Islam said how, which I agree. Different degrees of black belts, I guess, and where you get them from. But, that couldn't save Charles. So I don't know. Next person up, Benny has a really good chance. I don't think Volkanovski has any chance. Who else are we looking at the lightweight? I just pull it up right now. Islam, I'll pull it. Since Islam was a champion, we'll give us a little bit of respect and look at this weight class because his reign might be quite a while. I don't hear anything like Conor. Oh, I'm coming back. Dude would destroy Conor. Conor is not. It's not going to happen at this point. So as of before today, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier over. Neither one of them are getting a title shot. Neither one of them can mess with them if they can't even beat Oliveira. And then Oliveira. Michael Chandler. Chandler beats Poirier. He'll probably get a shot at Islam if he markets it right. But it would have to be after Benny. So I'd say Benny and then Chandler. Rafael Fiziev. I don't think his ground game is good enough. RDA, I don't know how he's ranked right there. Kamrat, no chance. Suzukian, no. Damir, Connor, Jalen Turner, Dan Hooker. None of these guys. Islam might be a champion for years. None of these guys are strong enough. They're just not. I only one I think, and I'm a little bit biased, I'm not gonna lie, is Chandler. And I don't know if Chandler can beat him. If Chandler doesn't beat Islam and Benny doesn't beat him, nobody's beating his dude for a hot minute. Not anybody that we know of right now is on that list I just read. So maybe Charles gets in there a shot at some point. I don't know. But Islam got it done. 280 was a great card. Won 11-1. I feel great about it. It could feel super, super great, but I won't complain. Oh, excuse me. Good day. Still got some bets open with football bets, and I bet a future bet. Maybe I'll share this one with y'all. I shared my future bet with y'all, and y'all, not that I saw, anybody took it. Nobody took it. Our parlay split did hit. So shout out to a follower there who took advantage of the situation and got free money out of me. I'll be sending him money on PayPal in a little bit. Let's see here. I'll post it on my Instagram, but I had another 6 or 7 pick that I start next week, and it goes into, I think, the Israel Adesanya card. I'll share that with y'all. Take advantage of it. I put my 7 pick up, told everybody put $20 on it in September, and I put 100 on the same bet, and it hit. So Listen, don't listen. Great day. Appreciate y'all listening, following, all that stuff. I don't know if we'll do a parlay split next one. We'll definitely do it for you for pay-per-views. We'll see how I feel about the next card. I'll start researching it. If I feel really good about it and I don't know, I'm jolly about the card, then cool. Other than that, appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.